I stayed quiet for too long, letting him walk all over me, thinking that's just how life goes for women like us. But one day, I snapped, and what I did next turned me from a broken mess into someone unbreakable. Look, I'm Mary, and I'm 47 now. If you're watching this, maybe you felt that same knot in your stomach, that worry that eats at you every night, wondering if things will ever change. I've been there, deeper than I ever thought possible. For years, I lived in this fog of pain and shame, scared to even look in the mirror. But then something shifted inside me, and I found a way out. Not just out, but with a kind of justice that made everything feel right again. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see how a regular woman like me, with no fancy plans or help, pulled off something that gave me my life back. And trust me, if I can do it, anyone can. It all started back when I was younger, but the real trouble kicked in about 15 years ago. I was married to this guy. Let's call him Tom, because I don't even want to say his real name out loud anymore. We met in our late 20s, and at first, it seemed okay. He had a job, I had mine. We laughed sometimes. But little by little, things got bad. He started with the small stuff, criticizing how I cooked dinner, saying my clothes looked cheap, making me feel like I wasn't good enough. I'd worry all day at work, thinking about what he'd say when I got home. Was the house clean enough? Did I smile right? It was like walking on eggshells every single minute. I remember one night, clear as day, we were sitting at the kitchen table. I'd made his favorite meal, spaghetti with meatballs, just to keep the peace. He took one bite and pushed the plate away. "This tastes like garbage, Mary. Can't you do anything right?" His voice was so calm, like he was stating a fact. I felt my face get hot, my hands shake. I wanted to say something back, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I just apologized, like always. "Sorry, Tom. I'll try better next time." He smirked and went to watch TV, leaving me to clean up alone. That night, I cried in the bathroom, staring at my reflection, wondering why I let him talk to me like that. The worry kept building. What if he left me? What if I was alone? I was scared of everything back then. Over time, it got worse. He'd yell about money, even though I worked full-time as a secretary, bringing in half our income. "You're wasting it all on stupid stuff," he'd say. But he was the one buying beers every night. I'd lie awake, heart pounding, thinking about the bills piling up, worried we'd lose the house. Then came the humiliation in front of others. At family gatherings, he'd make jokes about me. "Mary's not the brightest, but she tries." Everyone would laugh awkwardly, and I'd force a smile, dying inside. My sister pulled me aside once, asking if I was okay. I brushed it off. "It's fine, he's just stressed." But it wasn't fine. The despair set in deep, like a weight on my chest I couldn't shake. I tried to fix things, you know. I'd read books on marriage, worry myself sick trying to be the perfect wife. I'd clean the house spotless, cook better meals, even lose weight because he said I looked frumpy. But nothing changed. One time, I suggested counseling. He laughed in my face. "You think I need help? You're the problem." That hurt more than anything. I felt so small, so worthless. The pain was constant: headaches, stomach aches, nights where I couldn't sleep at all. I'd stare at the ceiling, tears running down my face, wondering how I ended up here. Was this my life forever? The humiliation piled on when he started flirting with other women, right in front of me. At a party, he'd chat up the neighbor, touching her arm, while I stood there pretending not to notice. People whispered. I could feel their pity. It made me sick with worry. What if he cheated? What if everyone knew? Years went by like that, blurring together in this haze of fear and sadness. I'd go to work, come home, deal with his moods, repeat. My friends drifted away because I stopped going out, too worried about what Tom would say if I was late. My family worried about me, but I pushed them back. "I'm okay," I'd lie. But inside, the despair was eating me alive. I'd have these moments where I'd think about leaving, packing a bag in my mind, but then the worry hit. How would I pay for things? Where would I go? I was 40 by then, feeling old and trapped. The pain wasn't just emotional anymore. My body hurt from the stress. Backaches, constant tiredness, like I was carrying the world. Let me tell you about one of the worst days. It was our anniversary, believe it or not. I saved up to buy him a nice watch, thinking maybe it'd make him happy. He opened it, looked at it for a second, then tossed it aside. What a waste of money. You always pick ugly stuff. I broke down right there, sobbing on the couch. He just rolled his eyes and left the room. That night, I sat alone, eating cold dinner, feeling the humiliation wash over me like a wave. Why did I stay? The worry paralyzed me. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear that no one else would want me. It was like a prison I built myself, brick by brick, out of doubt and shame. But slowly, things started shifting. I didn't see it at first, but the exploration of how bad it was made me start questioning. I'd sneak reads of articles online about abusive relationships, worried he'd catch me. One said, "If you're always walking on eggshells, that's a sign." It hit me hard. I started journaling in secret, writing down every mean thing he said, every time I felt small. The pages filled up fast. I'd hide the notebook under the mattress, heart racing every time he was near the bed. Worry became my constant companion. Worry he'd find it. Worry I'd never escape. I talked to a friend one day, whispering on the phone while he was out. She said, "Mary, this isn't normal. You deserve better." Her words stuck with me, but the fear held me back. I tried confronting him once. "Tom, why do you treat me like this?" He exploded, yelling that I was ungrateful, that no one else would put up with me. I backed down, as always. But that fight planted a seed. I started saving money in a hidden account, a few dollars here and there from groceries. Worry gnawed at me. What if he found out? What if it wasn't enough? The development came in waves. I'd have good days where I'd think, I can do this, then bad ones where the despair pulled me under. I joined an online forum for women in bad marriages. Reading stories like mine, it made me feel less alone, but more worried. So many stayed stuck forever. One woman wrote about leaving after 20 years, starting fresh. I envied her strength. I'd lie awake, planning in my head. Get a lawyer? Find an apartment? The details overwhelmed me. Humiliation kept me quiet. What would people say? Poor Mary, couldn't keep her marriage together. Then came the turning point in this mess. Tom started staying out late, coming home smelling like perfume. I worried he was cheating, but when I asked, he denied it, calling me crazy. One night, I checked his phone while he slept, something I'd never done. There were messages from a woman at his work, flirty ones, plans to meet. My heart dropped. The pain was sharp, like a knife. I sat there in the dark, shaking, tears streaming. Humiliation hit new lows. How long had this been going on? Everyone probably knew but me. That discovery fueled something new inside me. Anger mixed with the worry. I started researching more, learning about divorce laws, asset division. I'd do it at work, closing tabs fast if someone walked by. The worry was constant. What if he found out? But the despair was turning into determination. I met with a lawyer in secret, using lunch breaks. She said I had options, that I could get half of everything. It scared me, but excited me too. I started documenting everything. Photos of bruises from when he'd grabbed my arm too hard, records of his spending. The exploration deepened as I built my case. I'd drive around after work, looking at apartments, imagining a life alone. Worry about money kept me up. Could I afford it? But the thought of freedom pushed me on. I confided in my sister finally. She cried with me, promised to help. Having someone know lifted some weight, but the humiliation lingered. Admitting I'd let this happen for so long. Months passed like that, me planning in shadows. Tom noticed I was distant, accused me of having an affair. I denied it, heart pounding. The worry peaked. What if he got violent? He'd never hit me hard, but the threats were there. I bought a small recorder, hid it in my purse for arguments. One night, he screamed about dinner again, calling me worthless. I caught it all on tape. That evidence gave me power, but the despair still whispered, "What if you fail?" I dove deeper into self-help stuff, reading books on empowerment. One said, "Revenge isn't about hurting them. It's about reclaiming you." That resonated. My revenge wouldn't be wild, no slashing tires or anything crazy. It would be justice through the system, making him face what he'd done. I worried about court, about seeing him there, but the idea of liberation kept me going. Let me describe one key moment in this build-up. I was at the library researching online when I found a support group for women like me. I went to my first meeting, hands shaking the whole drive. The room was full of stories, some worse than mine, some similar. Hearing them share made me cry, but also feel stronger. "You're not alone," one woman said. I worried Tom would find out. He tracked my mileage sometimes, but I kept going. Those meetings developed my resolve, turning worry into quiet anger. As time went on, I gathered more proof. Bank statements showing he hid money, emails from his affair. The exploration felt endless, each piece adding to my worry but also my strength. I'd practice speeches in the mirror. "Tom, it's over." But when the time came, it wasn't like that. The climax hit on a rainy Tuesday. I'd hired the lawyer, filed papers in secret. That morning, I served him at work. A process server handed him the divorce docs in front of his coworkers. He called me, furious, but I didn't answer. Worry flooded me. What would he do? He came home raging, but I'd already changed the locks with police there. "You can't do this," he yelled through the door. But I could, and I did. The key moment was in court. He tried to play victim, saying I was unstable. But I had everything: tapes, messages, financial records. The judge saw through him. I got the house, half the savings, alimony. His face when he lost. That was my retribution. No violence, just truth, exposing him. The humiliation was his now. Whispers at his job about the affair, the abuse. After that, the worry started fading. I felt liberated, like breathing fresh air after years underground. Justice wasn't just the money, it was seeing him pay for the pain. I transformed from that scared woman to someone strong, handling my own life. Looking back, that journey from despair to strength changed me forever. If you're in that dark place, know there's a way out. It takes time, but you can find your own justice.